Before you wrap that cute dog toy or treat, you should know some of the most popular gifts are the exact things I end up surgically removing from pets every year. Let's go through the top 5 gifts that can turn into a foreign body emergency and how to avoid them. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Mosites from Mermaid Vet Hospital. So, first, let's get some terminology sorted away. A foreign body surgery is anytime a veterinarian has to go in and surgically remove something that shouldn't be in a dog's stomach. So, socks, ropes, corn cobs, all of those are grouped underneath one surgery, and it's called a foreign body surgery. A foreign body is the thing that's not supposed to be there. Every holiday season, I see the same cycle. A dog gets a new toy, gets overly excited, eats part of that toy, and then just after the holidays, my clients are back in my office with their dog. We're taking x-rays, we're sending them to get scoped, and we're potentially doing surgery to get that toy out. Today, I'm going to go over 5 well-intentioned gifts that can potentially harm your dog and what safe alternatives you can use instead. So number 1 is going to be the yak's milk shoes, sometimes also called Himalayan shoes. These exploded in popularity maybe 10, 15 years ago because they're all natural, they're supposed to be long-lasting. The problem that I've seen with them, though, is that once they dry out, they get rock hard. I've seen damage to teeth. And more importantly for this video, I've seen dogs get big chunks of them stuck inside their stomach. The problem, too, is that once it's in the stomach, it doesn't dissolve. The stomach acid can't break it down. And so I'll have to go in surgically and take out those chunks. So what's a safer alternative? I would recommend using a veterinary oral health council approved chew, something that's flexible, something that'll bend instead of break. So number 2 is deer and elk antlers. So these are popular for the same reason those yak's milk or Himalaya chews are popular. They're all natural. The problem is it's like giving your dog a polished piece of concrete. These are often harder than your dog's teeth and can result in dental damage. If your dog's a big enough chewer, they can also, just like the yak's milk, break off a piece of it. It goes inside the stomach. It's not going to dissolve over time, and I'm going to have to go fetch it out. In some cases, too, these can be sharp enough where they can actually penetrate the intestinal tract. So just stay away from them. It's not worthwhile. All right, number 3 is actually a toy that I recommend pretty frequently. It's called a Nylabone. And so these are hard plastic bones that break down and wear away over time, and they'll flex for chewers. The problem is when you give too small of a bone to too big of a dog. So what'll happen then is they actually are able to break those into smaller pieces. They're able to swallow those pieces. And even though a Nylabone is chewable, it'll break down and be able to be chewed around over time. It's still one big piece of plastic. So it's not going to break down inside the intestinal tract of a dog. I'll have to go fish it out. The best way to avoid this is to make sure that you're giving your dog the size for them, or even better, one size up, to make sure that they can't break off pieces. If they're that big of a chewer that even for their size, they're going to break off something, just stick with a different toy. All right, rope toys are another great toy for dogs, but when they start to fray at the ends, when bits of the rope start to come off, they need to be taken away, they need to be tossed and get them a new toy. It's going to be a lot more cost effective than going through and doing surgery. So when bits of rope break off, they can cause what are called linear foreign bodies. So this is where one piece of the object gets stuck in the higher part of the intestinal tract and the other part starts to move down. The intestines don't know it's stuck, so they'll keep trying to bunch up on it, trying to push it through, and it can end up actually sawing through the intestines themselves. It's really gross. A lot of times we'll have to cut out large chunks of intestine and sew the ends to each other because it's just too damaged to even save. So the biggest tip here is that as soon as that rope toy starts to get damaged, starts to fray, take it out, toss it, give them a new one. All right, number 5 is one of the most common ones that we have around the house. It's something that's been a tried and true toy for dogs for many years, and it's a tennis ball. So the problem with tennis balls is, again, for those big chewers that are going to break down the rubber inside the ball, they'll break off pieces of it, and that rubber will get stuck in their intestinal tract. Sometimes it passes through. Most of the time, because of that egg shape that it holds, the curve that it holds, it's going to dig into the intestinal tract lining, and it's going to get stuck there. The intestine around it's going to get inflamed and it's not going to want to move. So if it's large enough, it can cause an obstruction, which is where fluid and other food material can't get past that object. But even if it's not, it can just sit in the lining of the intestinal tract and cause a lot of irritation, cause repeated vomiting, and make it so that we have to go in and do surgery regardless. I promise I'm not a Grinch. I even wore my Christmas pajamas for this video. Your dog should definitely get toys for Christmas. It's one of my favorite parts of the holiday season. When you're buying those toys, though, you need to make sure that they're the right type. You need to make sure that they're for the right size, and you need to closely monitor your dog while they're playing with them. The best toy for this season is one that keeps your dog safe, happy, and stops me from being in my office holding an x-ray going, That shouldn't be there. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe. And if you want a video going over the safest toys and treats I'd recommend as a vet, including specific brands, let me know in the comments.